Hi, I recently received a copy of this book, Aikido, The Arts of Self-Defense, from my friend Erik Matsunaga. Thank you very much, Erik. It's a 1961 edition of a early English language book about the martial art of Aikido that was published in Japan. It was written by Koichi Tohei sensei, who was at that time the chief instructor at World Aikido Headquarters, or Hombu Dojo, and was very instrumental in promoting Aikido outside of Japan and within the United States. And the editor of the book is listed as the founder of Aikido, Morihei Ueshiba, who passed away in 1969. It's a pretty neat book. The cover seems to have been designed to resemble a traditional tatami mat, hand-woven reed mat, which would have been the training surfaces back then. It has some great pictures of what Hombu Dojo looked like at that time. It shows the founder of Aikido teaching and Koichi Tohei sensei also demonstrating. But what is most interesting about this is that, turn a few pages on the inside, and you'll find the signature here. It says, if you can read it, Dr. Norman Miyagi, October 3rd, 1962, Chicago, Illinois. And Dr. Norman Miyagi was one of the founders of the original Illinois Aikido Club, which eventually became the dojo I belong to now, Chicago Aikikai. And so that dojo was started in 1961 in a basement on Clark Street, not far from Wrigley Field. Went back when that was unofficial Japantown. Him and a bunch of folks got together and they started training without a proper teacher. And so they started training in July, I believe, of 1961. This book says October 62, so just a little more than a year later, which I think is very, very interesting. But also, turn a few pages over, I found that there is a picture of Koichi Tohei sensei that is signed by Koichi Tohei sensei. It says April 20th, 1965. Now, I have a clipping from an old Black Belt magazine issue that says that from April 64 through to 1965, for 1 year, Koichi Tohei sensei came to United States, and he spent time in Hawaii and the mainland visiting various Aikido dojos, which all would have been relatively new at that time, and teaching seminars. I also have a picture of one of the two seminars he taught in Chicago at the Illinois Aikido Club during that tour. One of them features a very young picture of Joe Takahara sensei, who was one of my instructors back when he was a young man. So that makes this book very interesting. But the last really interesting thing is, under here it says Ron Balicki. Erik had to point that out to me. And if you don't know who Ron Balicki is a very accomplished martial artist and stuntman and fight coordinator and fight choreographer. He's got a fairly long list of TV and film credits. He was born and raised in Chicago. He did his formative martial arts training here. So I'm wondering if he had trained at the Illinois Aikido Club, early in his life, and perhaps he knew Dr. Miyagi. Perhaps he received this book from Dr. Miyagi. In the 80s, he went to the West Coast. He trained under Dan Inosanto, and if you're into martial arts, you know that Dan Inosanto was one of Bruce Lee's direct students, and he is also an expert of various Filipino martial arts, like Kali and Eskrima. And interestingly, Ron is currently married to Dan Inosanto's daughter, Diana Lee Inosanto, who is in turn well known to Star Wars fans today for her roles on the TV shows The Mandalorian and Ahsoka. So in any case, yeah, very, very interesting book. Also has a lot of interesting basic descriptions of Aikido techniques and philosophy. And I'm definitely going to be sharing this with the members of my dojo. It'll end up in the Chicago Aikikai Library once I've done a little maintenance, because it's falling apart a little. Anyway, thank you for your time.